If you guys have any questions, RJ, get back down there.
I want to see the people.
You'll see it. There's 3 people watching, 4 people. Get down there, big guy. Terry Weiser, Pageant says, how did we avoid World War III?
Well, for starters, we resolved the crisis. The Cuban Missile Crisis, we were worried because the Soviets were asking that we give over all of Berlin. So they placed nuclear missiles in Cuba, and for like a week or two, we almost ended up into a nuclear war. And the leader of the USSR, Cuba, and the USA met to assure they wouldn't create MAD, or Mutually Assured Destruction. Operation Unthinkable, which was a joint USA-UK plan to invade the USSR, and the Cuban Missile Crisis. But Operation Unthinkable was rejected by the British government and was top secret by the British government.
So who was the president at the time?
Churchill.
No, who was the president of the United States?
Harry S. Truman.
Why was George Washington effective?
Because 1, he created the country. 2, he helped create the Constitution. 3.
Well, I don't know if he helped create the Constitution.
Yes, he was. He was in the Congress. Plus, you also know James Madison, John Adams, and Thomas Jefferson were also there.
What do you like about Thomas Jefferson?
He's an architect. He was in the Democratic-Republican Party, which lasted until 1825.
Who was Lincoln's vice president?
Andrew Johnson, and there's a coincidence between Lincoln and Kennedy. Lincoln was elected Congress 1846, Kennedy 1946.
Who's your favorite president of all the presidents, since George Washington, and why?
I'm going to say FDR because he built nukes. Well, just kidding. I like FDR because he got us out of the Great Depression.
Nancy Sheets asked, what was Watergate?
Well, it was a scandal between Nixon when his supporters stole information from the opposing candidate. He said he was not part of it, but a tape showed proof that he was lying.
What was your favorite World War II battle, and why?
Well, the most popular battles were Pearl Harbor. I could list a lot of favorite battles. The Battle of El Alamein, the Battle of Kiev, the Battle of Berlin, the Battle of... there was like a small Battle of Paris, the Battle of Stalingrad, which was one of the bloodiest battles in human history.
Explain the origin of the Russian Empire.
Well, the Russian Empire began as the country of Muscovy. It broke up around like the 13th century, and then suddenly under Ivan the Terrible, it was reformed, and by the time of Ivan's death, it was ready to expand into Siberia. Many czars later, we have Tsar Nicholas II, which he married a German wife, and the Tsar abdicated in 1917. They were murdered on July 6, 1918 by the Revolutionary Communist Guards. But the youngest daughter survived, but she was really poor. She moved to Poland.
What year was that?
1917 through 1922 was the Grand Revolution that took out the Russian Empire. It became communist, speed up. They lost a lot of land in World War I. They began to push back. They capitulated the Germans with the help of the British, the French, and the Americans, which is us. Then we get into a Cold War, almost World War III sometimes.
World War III? Don't you mean...
Well, in the Cuban Missile Crisis, we almost had World War III. And then then when the Berlin Wall came down, the Soviet Union came closer to collapsing. On Christmas 1991, they collapsed, and Russia was reformed. Ta-da!